Hello again. I'm Bryanna with Medicines for Humanity. In modules 1 and 2, we focused on personal risks and self-care practices. Now, we'll step back and look at the bigger picture. How can we create a culture of well-being where we work? Service providers thrive best in environments that value care, balance, and support. This module is about building that kind of environment so no one has to carry their burdens alone. A culture of well-being is more than policies. It's the everyday atmosphere we create. It's when rest and boundaries are seen as healthy, not as weakness. It's when peers check in on each other, not just on tasks. It's when talking about stress or burnout is normal, not shameful. And it's when people are valued, not only for what they produce, but for who they are. Many organizations push through with overwork, believing it's the only option. But the hidden costs are high. Workers leave, which increases turnover. The quality of care drops because exhausted people can't give their best. Trust breaks down when resentment builds in teams. And the long-term health risks, hypertension, depression, exhaustion, are serious. Investing in well-being is not extra. It saves both people and organizations. Now let's look at psychological safety. This is when people feel safe enough to ask questions, share concerns, or admit mistakes without fear of being punished or ridiculed. In a clinic, this could mean a nurse saying, "I'm overwhelmed today. Can someone assist me?" Or a sister admitting, "I forgot a step in the procedure." Instead of shame, the response is support. Psychological safety fuels both well-being and effectiveness. A well-being culture isn't abstract. It's built step by step. This can start with peer check-ins. How are you really? Shared debriefs after difficult events so no one carries trauma alone. Recognition of effort, valuing kindness, patience, or resilience, not only numbers. Safe spaces for reflection, silence, or prayer. And perhaps most important, leaders modeling boundaries. Because when leaders overwork, teams feel pressured to do the same. David here is a clinic manager. His team is struggling. Patients are many, staff are few. At first, he pushed his team harder, demanding longer hours. Morale collapsed. Eventually, he tried something new: weekly peer check-ins, rotating on-call duty, and group prayers at the start of shifts. Within 2 months, staff turnover slowed, teamwork improved, and patients reported better care. Take a moment and answer, what shifted in David's approach? How did culture impact outcomes? This shows how culture is not just nice to have, it directly shapes outcomes for staff and patients alike. Here's a short game I call culture cards. I'll read two options and you pick which one builds a healthier workplace culture. For example, we should work until the task is finished, no matter the cost, or take a short pause together after a hard case. Of course, take a short pause together after a hard case. This acknowledges the heaviness of the case and allows for everyone to debrief and calm down after it. Very good. Let's look at another one. Leaders should never admit stress, or leaders share their own challenges sometimes. Yes, leaders sharing their own challenges. This creates a culture of allowing employees to feel like they also can share their challenges. These contrasts remind us that culture is shaped by everyday choices, and you can have a hand in making these changes. Building a well-being culture is shared work. Managers carry the responsibility of modeling boundaries, giving recognition, and creating safe systems like rotating tasks or allowing staff to voice concerns. But employees also play a role, checking in on peers, respecting boundaries, sharing feedback, and helping create rituals of connection. Culture is strongest when it's everyone's responsibility, not just leadership's. Here are some practical strategies for creating well-being cultures. Peer mentorship connects experienced staff with newer ones. Rotating responsibilities avoids burnout. Shared rituals like a short song, prayer, or meal build belonging. Wellness pause moments in meetings allow people to breathe, not just push through. And recognition matters. Hearing thank you changes morale more than we realize. Pause here for a moment. What is one small step you could try this week to strengthen a culture of well-being? How could you encourage your peers in this? And what role could your leaders or you play in modeling this culture? Even one small change can shift an entire environment over time. Creating a culture of well-being is about valuing people as much as outcomes. Overwork carries hidden costs, but cultures of safety, support, and balance sustain both staff and communities. Both managers and employees share this responsibility, and change doesn't require grand gestures. It begins with small, consistent actions that over time transform a workplace. Thank you, and good luck putting all that you've learned into practice.